Hey guys, this is the Lumintop Rainbow, and it's one of the most unique flashlights that I own for a few reasons. So firstly, you've got this multi-purpose head. Okay, you've got a 1 kilometer throw beam rated at 1 kilometer. You've also got this nice lantern here on the side, comes with a shade that just attaches on the top like that. You've also got RGB modes that you can switch to like that. But one big reason I wanted to get this light was the included battery. And this has got to be the highest capacity lithium ion battery that I've seen on the market. I mean, check this out. 32,000 milliamp hour cell, 118.4 watt hours. I've never seen anything like this. And yeah, this would be equivalent to having maybe 6 plus 21700 cells. Is almost the same size as the Lumintop AD01 flashlight that takes a D cell. So really speaks to how large this battery is. So this is the box that the Lumintop Rainbow comes in. You obviously get the light itself, 46950 battery that I was showing you before. The box is pretty simple. I mean, it has some specifications here, as you can see on the back. And also you do get a bunch of accessories. You get a USB-C charging cable, a couple of spare O-rings. They included this little QC pass notice. You also get this user manual. And if you want, you can pause the video and check it out. So here's a little comparison between the Lumintop Rainbow and a few other flashlights that I own. I've got the Convoy L21B, Convoy C8 Plus, and the M21B, and I've also got the Lumintop AD01. So you can see it's kind of got this soda can style design. Takes up a little bit more room on top as well, just due to this lantern attachment, lantern feature up there. But I think this is really superior to a lot of those pop can style flashlights because you just get so much more battery capacity with this special cell. Okay, so a little close up of the Lumintop Rainbow. And as you can see, this light does have a very different design. Firstly, instead of aluminium, you've got this base battery tube, which is made of plastic. It doesn't feel cheap though. The head is mostly aluminium besides this section here that houses the lantern LEDs. I'd say overall the light's machined nicely. There's no imperfections or rough edges. And I like how there's significant knurling on the battery tube and on this head component as well, because there is no lanyard attachment point. And yeah, you can only unscrew the light in this one point here, just above the battery tube. You can see how the battery actually connects on. And that's a dual spring there. And you can see the contact point there on the battery. Looks like you can get into the head as well if you unscrew this retaining ring. I just had to do this quick shot as well of that gigantic 46950 battery next to my 21700 cell. It makes it look like a AA cell or something. So the Lumintop Rainbow has an IPX4 rating, which is fine for light rain or workouts, sweat, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I'd keep it away from water. And did I mention as well, the light is pretty heavy at 650 grams, including that battery. You've got a single large rubber switch on the light. There's a blue retaining ring as well, aluminium retaining ring. You can make that light up. There's 7 clicks if you want. And yeah, if you look on the back as well, there's USB-C charging port. Just got to pull that off, USB-C charging port. And you've got a battery indicator here as well with these 4 lights. Now, each of these lights represents 25%. So yeah, it activates as soon as you turn on the light and switches off in 30 seconds. The Lumintop Rainbow supports PD 3.0 or QC 3.0 charging up to a maximum of 4.5 amps. And I think that's important given the large capacity of this battery. And of course, the light also functions as a serious power bank. It's got a maximum discharge of 22.5 watts at 3 amps. So it does also provide extra juice for those power hungry devices that you have on the road with you. So here's a little look under the bezel, smooth bezel. There's no crenulation whatsoever. And there's this unspecified round LED in here. It's rated at 3000 lumens and 1 kilometer range. I have no idea what it is. It's not an SFT25R. I've compared spec sheets and also just the look of the die surface as well. There's in the SFT25R, there's white sections around the yellow die surface. So if you know what this is, let me know. I thought this might have been an SFT 40 variant just due to the gold edges surrounding the LED. But you do have this nice smooth reflector and glass lens on the front. It's going to protect the light. Perfectly sealed as well. So there's not a speck of dust inside. The lantern and the colored LEDs are not visible. So yeah, you've got this kind of frosted, I think it's plastic, frosted plastic. It could be glass. I tried to scratch it a bit earlier and wasn't able to. There seems to be an array of LEDs mounted directly to the heatsink. All right, so I want to go through the UI and just show you how the light works. So single click for on and off. The light has memory mode enabled as well. Now, once the light is on, you can just press and hold to ramp all the way up to high mode, and you'll get a blink like that once it hits high. You can ramp all the way down to moonlight mode as well. It does take a little bit to get up and down. And then you've also got double press for turbo. Okay. And you can also quad click on spot to enable this like police flash function as well on the side. It's like an omnidirectional light, so maybe you want to get some attention as well as use the front facing light. That's really, I think, a good little function. In order to switch between the front facing light and the lantern here on the side, you have to triple click. Okay, and so you can continually just cycle between both of them. And in this lantern mode, you can access the ramp in the same way. Just press and hold, and double click will take you to the highest point of the ramp. There is no turbo mode on this. So yeah, the double click will only take you straight to the highest mode, and you can step all the way down as well. So there are some hidden modes in the light. So if you step the light all the way down into the moonlight mode, just press and hold until it hits that lowest mode. If you double press, you can access strobe. Double press again for an SOS mode. Double press for beacon. And these modes can only be accessed from the moonlight mode, which I think is good. You don't want to accidentally access them. And yeah, you can also access those same strobe modes from that main spot LED as well. Pretty much the same UI on the lantern mode, except it doesn't have the turbo mode there. I find that the lantern mode just looks a lot nicer if you put this shade on. Just shields your eyes and it's way more comfortable. In order to access those RGB colored modes from off, you just press and hold. And it starts off on this police flashy mode, but again, triple press and you get this rainbow mode here where it just goes from different colors. There's a few other modes as well here where it kind of just, as you can see, just cycles through different colors. You've got this one, which I quite like, where it looks like it's kind of moving around. The lights are moving around. And of course, my favorite, the red mode. So I think this is going to be really useful for nighttime. And there's also a few more solid colored modes. So there's green, and you've also got blue in there. So it really makes for some nice mood lighting. There's a few other things as well. So you can lock the light 4 clicks from off. Okay. It does flash once, and from here you can basically just press and hold to access momentary mode. It depends which mode you had activated before you activated the lock. 4 clicks to turn back on, unlock the light. And this light on the button can be deactivated through 7 clicks. All right, so here are some ceiling bounce tests that I ran with the Lumintop Rainbow. And you can see here on the turbo spot mode, get about 1.5 minutes of runtime before the light steps down from the 3000 lumen mark. And you can see it steps down to just above the 30% mode, and it holds that for the duration of the test. I ran that test over 25 minutes. Also ran a second ceiling bounce test on the spot high mode, just at the top of the ramp, and you can see here it starts off at 100%, and at the 5-minute mark steps down to about 80%. I ran a third ceiling bounce test just on the lantern mode on high, and you can see here pretty much retains 90 to 100% of the output for the duration of the test. I ran a bunch of tests with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and these are figures based on switch on, and you can see on the spot mode I got 1.1 kilometers of throw, which is pretty impressive for, it's not a small light, but I just wouldn't expect a light of this kind of category. I don't even know how to categorize it to actually throw that far. I mean, it throws further than most of my tactical flashlights even. And, even on the high mode, you got nearly 700 meters of throw. CRI was 61, so definitely on the lower end, and CCT was a little cooler, so between 5500 and 5700 K. I've tested the lantern mode as well on the highest setting and got 17 meters of throw, 84 CRI, and nearly 3000 K. So yeah, it's a pretty warm light. You'll be able to use that nicely at nighttime. While I was testing the Lumintop Rainbow, I was pretty impressed at the range of this light. I wasn't expecting a kilometer plus of throw, and the thing outthrows many of my dedicated long-range flashlights. So yeah, if you're like me and you like these throwy lights and you want something practical as well with this gigantic battery and lantern, I mean, I can't think of anything else out there that's similar, that has all of these different functions and this large battery in there. And yeah, when you compare that round LED as well to other round LEDs on the market, like the SFT25R or the W5050 SQ3, it produces more than twice the output of those. So I'm not sure what LED this is. Maybe someone out there knows. And if you do, just let me know. So some considerations that I want to mention. I wish Lumintop included a lanyard and a place to attach it. This is a pretty heavy light, and I would have liked that added security in case I drop it. Second consideration is that plastic construction of the battery tube. So it's going to mean less durability. If you're dropping it from a meter or so, yeah, you might damage it. And I found that the metal part of the light here does get quite hot after a few minutes on high or turbo. So yeah, the positive is that the plastic tube does allow you to hold the light comfortably after sustained use. Would have liked the metal button on here, but yeah, I think with that heat of the head, it's just going to make sure that you're not going to burn your finger if you're turning that light on and off. I would have liked the metal button on here as well, but I get it does reduce heat transmission. Third consideration is that there's no shortcut to moonlight mode on this light. So yeah, the ramping up and down was a bit too slow for my liking. Definitely not a deal breaker though. And of course, I mentioned this one already. The weight of the light's pretty heavy. It's not a light that you'd be able to carry around in your pocket. It's suited to, putting it into your bag, even a bottle holder on the side of your bag, or in a car glove box, something like that. It's great for long trips where you might not have access to power for extended periods. So overall, the Lumintop Rainbow is the perfect flashlight and lantern combo that you can find out there, especially if you're looking for something with sustained run times. You really can't go past or get any better than this gigantic battery in there. And I really like that you can use it indoors as well as a bedside lamp or night light with all those different LEDs. The warm colored LEDs here on the side as well are quite soothing. My personal favorite would be the red mode, and it makes for some interesting mood lighting as well. You can use those RGB sort of modes in there. I think the Lumintop Rainbow would also be perfect option if you're someone who spends a lot of time outdoors, camping, fishing, hiking. You do get a long range spotlight and lantern all in one, and you'd almost never need to change the battery if you use the light on the low modes. And in the manual, it says that it lasts a month if you have it continuously on the lowest mode, which is pretty impressive. I like that it has the emergency strobe, SOS, beacon, and all these flashy modes that would be handy in an emergency to get attention. Plus, it also functions as a large capacity power bank. So if you're interested in getting the Lumintop Rainbow, I've left a link in the video description that you can check out. They're currently having some kind of sale on, so you might be able to pick it up for a better price. If you have questions about it as well, let me know down below in the comments. I'll get back to you. I'm sure I've missed out on a thing here or there. If you like this video, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps me to get it out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and news, make sure you subscribe. Main spot LED first on turbo. And I mean, as you can see there, it's just incredible. It's reaching those trees even behind that clearing there. Trees all the way in the back. Usually I'm not able to get those unless I've got an LEP flashlight. Oh, there's a train over there. Just got to be careful not to... try not to... Too late, but look at that. You really can see everything beneath those trees as well. And there's so much flood. As you can see, it's not a lot of circular flood, but yeah. Now you can also step this light down, okay, to high. So this is the high mode, and at the top of the ramp, and it's still pretty good. Getting all the way to the back of those trees, you don't get as much, brightness in the spill or intensity in the hotspot, but this is going to last a lot longer, and can keep on reducing the brightness down to see what it looks like. And that's at the moonlight mode. You really can't see much unless, just here in the foreground a little bit. But as you step it up, all the way to the high mode, there you go, it blinks at the end. And turbo, wow. Whew. That's impressive. That's really impressive. And it also, has something to do with this circular LED in there. Produces so much light. Large, smooth deflector as well. We'll go for a bit of a walk so you can see the beam profile. So I'll go for a bit of a walk and show you the lantern mode and also some auxiliary modes. This mode be pretty good at getting some attention, that's for sure. Lumintop Rainbow. That's the turbo mode. It's too bright for this sort of short range distance, but I can see everything all into the back, that's for sure. Let's step it down to high. That's better. Your high mode. Didn't use it really for this kind of setting. I think it's just too throwy. But you know, on the lower modes, you can still use this okay as a walking light. Let's step this down a little bit, maybe to something like this. It should be okay. It's actually a lot more spill than it looks like on the camera. But yeah, that turbo mode is way too much. Too much light for short range. Not that I'm complaining. And I'll go for a bit of a walk and show you the lantern mode.